I am here reading just a little excerpt from this very long article. This is the Roy's Report, Reporting the Truth, Restoring the Church. And this is exclusive. Woman says IHOP KC founder Mike Bickle used prophecy to sexually abuse her. This is from November 30th, 2023. So this is shortly after the whole scandal broke out. Trauma unearthed. In March 2023, Doe, that's Jane Doe, said she listened to a podcast about Bill Cosby's alleged abuse and saw herself in that situation. I fell to the floor and began to wail, she said. That was a moment of trauma unearthed. In May, Doe finally talked about it for the first time, first telling her husband. Her husband also confirmed this with TRR. That would be the Roy's Report, who is reporting on this situation. 4 days later, a friend of hers asked her a question out of the blue. Did Mike ever do anything physical to you? I literally started to cry and shake, and I just shared with her my story, Doe said. That's when she said, you know there's a current woman. And that's when Doe said she knew she had to do something. Neither Doe nor her husband had confidence in IHOP KC's leadership or accountability structure. So in late June, Doe told Alan Hood her story, which Hood confirmed with TRR. Hood called it devastating news. Doe is so credible, the fruitfulness of her life and faithfulness that I've seen her walk in for over 20 years, Hood said. That to me it couldn't be denied, and yet, to be honest, I didn't want to believe it. We just wept, and I said, I'm with you, Doe. I'm here, and I'll stand with you, and we'll walk this out together. By August, Doe and her husband also reached out to former IHOP KC leader Dwayne Roberts, his wife Jennifer Roberts, and to Sullivan. Both Dwayne Roberts and Sullivan told TRR. I don't know who Sullivan is exactly. We've known her to be a person of integrity and character, Roberts said. It's not in her nature to come up with something remotely close to this to gain something. Doe will always tell the truth, and Mike will always tell his own story. Roberts, who was part of IHOP KC since its earliest days, told TRR that he didn't know about Bickle's secret meetings with women in their 20s in the late 1990s. But he said Bickle didn't hold similar discipleship groups for men. Roberts said Bickle commonly had young women who were 20 years younger than him around him at IHOP KC. Both Roberts and Hood told TRR that Bickle had internal deadbolts in his office. Wow. Sullivan said Doe's story reminded him of a 2015 conversation he and his wife had with a woman who'd been close to Bickle when he pastored at MCF. She told us that was the line that he used, that Diane was going to die and that they would be together, Sullivan said. So when Doe told us that, I was like, oh my gosh, I've heard that before. The woman to whom Sullivan was referring spoke with TRR. She confirmed that Bickle, when married and serving as a pastor in her church in Kansas City around 1983 or 1984, had connected emotionally with her. She said she doesn't consider herself a victim of Bickle's, but she said Bickle communicated to her a prophecy that someday his wife, Diane, would die in an earthquake, and then Bickle and this woman could be together. Okay.
I knew I was having a supernatural encounter. Obviously, I'm standing with a mighty demon is in front of me.
Mighty demon is in front of me. Creepy.
I'd like to recommend a playlist I put together all about the Kansas City prophets and Mike Bickle and their doctrine and their false teachings. And now I'm going to read just a little excerpt from this article on Vice I heard about this in a podcast and it rang a bell, so I just thought I would share it with you because here we have another creepy weirdo, Tim Ballard. 5 of Tim Ballard's alleged victims have filed a lawsuit against him. The founder of the anti-trafficking group OUR has been sued by several accusers who say he used their faith and visions from a psychic to sexually coerce them. Here he is with his wife, posing on the red carpet for the Ound Say of Redum Fae. The reason that I said that is because I have already gotten 2 strikes for even talking about this topic. In this article, there is a press release. I'm going to read it, but I might have to, because I'm a little paranoid, maybe be careful about some of the words. And I'll post this article in my community section. This came out in October, around the same time as the Mike Bickle thing happened. Isn't that weird? A little before. I don't remember. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know if anybody remembers hearing about this, but Ballard's victims file lawsuit. Today, 5 women filed a lawsuit in the 3rd Judicial District Court of Utah against Ballard OUR. That's Operation Underground Railroad. Ballard's and OUR's affiliated companies and the board of OUR. The complaint accompanies this press release. Each of the 5 women provided their own statement that sets forth in painful detail how Ballard manipulated and assaulted them, under the guise of fighting childhood traffic. The women have used pseudonyms in an effort to protect them from the zealous defenders of Ballard and his organizations. Some of these women reported their stories to OUR and were ignored and silenced. As a result, Tim Ballard was not exposed by OUR for what he truly is, a predator. Actual say, editor prey. These 5 brave women have come forward now because they want the world to know the truth. They believe that the public should understand who Ballard is and how he uses donor money before making any future decisions about supporting his organizations. It is expected that additional lawsuits by additional victims will be filed in the upcoming month. It is also known that there are additional victims that are still weighing whether to come forward. The 5 women that have filed this lawsuit ask that you give those still struggling with whether to come forward the time and space to process what has happened to them and determine what future course of action they desire to take. The tragic irony is not lost on these 5 women that Ballard literally trade them for his own actual say and egotistical gratification, all while using the noble cause of fighting trafficking tray and serving God as his ruse. These brave women ask for your patience and privacy at this time while discovery in this case proceeds. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit, because I already know about what's in this article, is that on these supposed rescue missions, they would be undercover, right? And he would get these women to pretend, they had to pretend to be couples or married couples. Okay. And how do you fool people into believing that you're actually a married couple? Well, of course you have to sleep together first, right? So it's really authentic and believable. That's what he was doing. Now, here's the kicker. The suit also alleges that Ballard would tell the women that Janet Rusin, the psychic, had told him that they had been married to them in a previous life, and so their conduct was appropriate. Rusin has previously declined to comment on her time at OUR when reached by Vice News, and told us she signed an NDA precluding her from speaking about her work there. OUR told us in a statement last month that she left OUR soon after Ballard did. The suit also alleges that Ballard would tell the women that if his wife Catherine were to die, he would immediately marry them. In perhaps its most jaw-dropping allegation, the suit accuses Ballard of using prophetic revelations while he received ketamine treatments. It alleges that he would talk to the dead prophet Nephi and issue forth prophecies about Ballard's greatness and future as a United States Senator, President of the United States, and ultimately the Mormon prophet to usher in the second coming of Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? Wow, these guys have a lot in common, don't they? I think Mike Bickle was trying to usher in the second coming of Christ too. So I was watching this video today called Designer Sheepskins, Recognizing Abusive Leadership. And I just found this interesting. This is from 2007.
So why am I here? Why does this interest me? Why does abusive leadership fall into what I want to talk about today? Well, before I knew her, my wife was involved in a relationship that was, well, let's say it was abusive, and let's say it was a group, and she was involved, too far involved, with the man who was the leader of this group. And again, this is before I knew her, this is even before I was a Christian. And we had just become friends, and she told me a little bit about this, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. She had said that this guy loved her. He was one of the two prophets in Revelation. That when his wife was to give birth to their second child, she was going to die in childbirth, and my wife was going to be his replacement, and raise up, his kids.
That's just so romantic.
And she was about 18 years old, so pretty young, pretty impressionable.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Run.
Just one name that can keep you out of hell, and it's the name of Jesus. The name of Jesus.